guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have probably one of the hardest vehicles to find sitting on a dealership lot anywhere in the United States, and it's this vehicle right here. This is the updated, but also all new, and I'll explain in a second, all new 2025 Ford Maverick. This is the hybrid with all-wheel drive, and of course, this is the Lariat trim. But before we get into this fuel-sipping mini truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So you heard right. It is nearly impossible to find one of these because of the demand. Just like during the pandemic back in 2020, people were craving for that hybrid, where the hybrid was just a front-wheel drive. But it got amazing fuel economy, and the price point was where it was so affordable. Now the pricing obviously has changed. It's gone up across all the trims, but Ford wanted to double down and bring the hybrid setup, but also bring the all-wheel drive. So what I want to find out at the end of the day, is this the must-own small truck? If you want that fuel savings, if you need the all-wheel drive, and you don't want to spend too much money, is it a lot of money? We're going to find out. Let's go ahead, let's dive in to this Maverick and see if it's the one. Right off the bat, it's that dune color, very popular across many of the different brands, like a khaki, sandy color. Fits the Maverick nicely. Now, the front of the business, all Mavericks for 2025 receive a refresh. So you get an update headlight design, LED headlights, LED daytime running lamp. My only zonk, especially on a Lariat trim, is that old-fashioned Thomas Edison light bulb. Now, as we work our way down, Lariat trim gets you the flat black, but it also gets you this bright painted metallic silver finish. It would have been nice if the Lariat trim could also get you some fog lamps down below instead of this just regular flat black plastic. But I've always liked how that front fender has a nice flare to it built in to the body. Just gives it a nice trucky look, even though this doesn't sit on a truck chassis. Now, as we come across the updated grille for 2025, you got your Ford badge, the blue oval, forward-facing camera. Lariat trim is going to get you these little silver accents within the flat black, fully functional up top, functional down below, and then, like I pointed out on the corner there, it's a mixture of flat black and that painted silver. But let me know what you think about the face of the refreshed, updated Maverick. Now, I did also say that this is brand new. The reason why it's brand new is this is the first ever hybrid all-wheel drive Maverick. Now, as we rise up, what gives it that trucky appearance is the nice high hood. I like the way they do the body lines and indentations, just like the bigger brothers, the Ranger, the F-150. We come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire on our Lariat trim. So you're gonna get these nice 19-inch wheels, machined aluminum, gloss black, and I like the way just everything is painted around the fender opening. But I think they did a great job on the wheel design. It's nice to see on a hybrid a 19-inch wheel. A lot of times on hybrids, they try to go super small for better fuel economy. Tires are 225 on the width, 55 series sidewall. That's about exactly what you need. I think this is that truck for people who don't want our actual truck that sits on a truck chassis. I think this is the better way to go for most people. It sits essentially on the Ford Escape chassis, which, remember, the Escape is a crossover SUV. Coming down the side, I like the way they put the Lariat name. I wish they would put like a side marker light in there, so that's a zonk. You do get gloss black on your mirror caps, but we do have 360-degree cameras. From the side, the dimensions are right. Easy to park, easy to drive, easy to put in your garage. You do have color matched on the door handles, and this one does have the optional keypad. I wish they would build it back into the actual door frame like they used to. This kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but it is a great idea, especially if you like going to the beach, you like swimming in a lake where you get leeches stuck all over you. This is nice because you can leave the keys in your Maverick and not bring them in the water with you and get them damaged, and still lock your doors. Down below, you do have the flat black. Totally fine with that. That's gonna take a nice beating. The other thing I still can't figure out is why are we using in the model year 2025 that RC car antenna there? Absolutely just makes us look like a toy, and not in a good way. When it comes to beds, you got a 4.5-foot bed. Like I said, plenty. You could actually fit 18 sheets of 4x8 plywood in the back of this bed. Of course, on this model, we got power coming towards the rear to give us the all-wheel drive. And then spinning around back, same thing as up front. They redesigned the taillights. The bad news is they're not LED, especially on a Lariat trim. I do like the way they updated the blue oval. You got the Maverick name stamped in, and there's nowhere on here that says hybrid. I kind of like that. It's like, why do we have to say hybrid on a vehicle or not? Just buy what you want and drive it. Working our way down, you do have tow capability, and that's one of the reasons why the license plate is skewed to the right, is because of our tow receiver. And then of course, bringing down, I wish that should be a soft release on a Lariat, but we got the full bed liner. You got your Twinkie box. This is the official Ford Performance Twinkie box. Weather tight, weatherproof, so your Twinkies don't get damp, get soggy and moist. Not too moist, at least. You do have a home power source and LED lighting in the back. Look how nice that is. On, off, on, off. And then you got some tie-down locations. Plus, I like the way they have the sliding track system. What's funny is they took that from Nissan. Nissan had it first, just saying. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about the MPGs of this TRUCK. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it. It's not like you're taking this to Cars and Coffee to show off the power plant, but this is that power plant that everybody wanted back in 2020. This is the hybrid. So what do we have? It is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline four, so you don't have to complain about turbos or whatever. It uses 2 electric motors. It's gonna give us 191 horsepower. It is mated to a CVT, but that's one of the ways they get the awesome MPGs. It also utilizes a lithium-ion battery pack, 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds. Top speed is governed to 113 miles an hour. The truck weighs 3,913 pounds, but here's the kicker. Remember, this is all-wheel drive. 40 MPGs in the city, 34 on the highway. You have a 1,500-pound payload capacity, and with the right towing package, you could tow up to 4,000 pounds with this mini truck. So you're getting a lot of truck usage out of it, but you're also getting MPGs. There's no other truck, definitely at this lot, that could touch the MPGs of this Maverick. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this fuel-sipping, all-wheel drive Maverick hybrid. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm glad you finally found one of these. I've been looking for one myself. How much is it, though? I need to know what that price is, because I'm about to pull the trigger on some new small truck, and I'm not so sure if I should go all the way with the Maverick. Well, this one being a Lariat, remember that's the top trim. It's also a hybrid. With the all-wheel drive, you're looking at an MSRP right around $41,000. A far cry from that $19,999 price that they had back in 2020 for just the front-wheel drive base hybrid. But everything's going up in price. But let's see if it's still worth the cash at the end of the day. To the door panels, you're going to get that two-tone navy blue with the tan. The tan works on this one, especially with our dune color, that sand dune color. Soft touch on the armrest. The rest of the door panel is hard plastic. It's a zonk that it's hard plastic up top, but I think the good news is it's going to be easy to clean. I like the exposed screws. Kind of gives it a nice industrial vibe. You got the B&O sound system. and a door pocket that's complicated, but in a good way, because you got lots of storage space. 2 bottles of Shasta root beer, and you could put easily, I would say, 4 Nathan's hot dogs down there. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, it's plastic, but like I said, it's going to be easy to keep clean. The tan, I love those exposed screws, just like on the door. You do have a nice little Twinkie tray here. Warm up your Twinkies, and you got the B&O center speaker for your sound system. 13.1-inch infotainment system. It's got all the goodies, all touchscreen. It's got its good features, and it's got its bad features. So all the wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you have your towing, your driver assistance, all those goodies. But the challenge is everything is basically within the screen. So you do have heated seats. There should be ventilated seats at this price point. So I am going to zonk that. And as you can see, you have to touch the screen, which is just a real pain. And you're going to get your Nathan's hot dogs fingerprints all over the place. But it is dual climate control, which is nice. Let me throw it into reverse, see what the back. Ooh, nice resolution on the backup camera, the trajectory. You got your 360. There's our backup warning assist, so you don't back into somebody and run them over. And then down below, you got your AC vents with a little bit of this dark brown. I don't know what the story is on that. It kind of looks weird, just like on the AC vents on the corners there. Pro trailer backup assist. You can put your jet ski in at the dock and look like a pro. That's to activate the forward-facing camera. And you do have a real volume knob. Down below is our start-stop button. 12-volt. USB-C, USB-A, wireless charging. And then you got a ton of room down here where you could put, I would say, 4 bags of cashews. And you could put, I would say, about 6 boxes of Tic Tacs. This rotary dial right here, this is going to control your CVT. 2 cup holders. Your 4 key fob. Remote start, which is nice. You got another area where you could actually put an easy access hamburger. I was watching a Burger King commercial the other day, and they said something to the effect like a hamburger is a snack. When has a hamburger ever been a snack? But if you're going to follow that philosophy, you could have your snack right there. Usually a snack for me is something a lot smaller, not so heavy. But I guess hamburgers are now a snack for some people. Soft touch with the nice contrast stitching. Lift it up. You got so much room in here, you could fill this up with all your hopes and dreams. So all those dreams that you had ever since you were a kid, you want to be an astronaut, all that kind of stuff, you could put that in there. And it's like, are we doing a disservice to people saying, hey, you could be anything that you want to be? In reality, you really can. If I want to be a bird, I can't be a bird. I guess I could try, but there's that one guy from the Guinness Book of World Records that made himself look like a lion or whatever, a tiger. Got the tattoos, he sharpened his teeth and all that. I guess he made his dream come true. Seats, the two-tone, really nice, soft touch. Love the way they emboss the Maverick name. Another thing I don't understand is why on a Lariat trim do we have manual seats for the passenger? I guess the saving grace is that I have full electric assist over here. Plenty of headroom. And look at that, a sunroof. Nice to see on a Maverick. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this small truck. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of this Maverick. Here are your electric seat controls for the driver. The seats are comfy. They're supportive. And I just like the space. Even though this is a compact truck, definitely doesn't feel compact in here. Steering wheel, the leather, got some nice stitching. Flat black on the switch gear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you have that small digital gauge cluster. Looks good because guess what? You can scroll through a small cornucopia of different things. And I like the way there's not like a bunch of modes and stuff. I like the way they just keep it simple. Keep it simple. And if you're wondering why is the engine, this little engine picture lit, that's because the engine is running. It's not a check engine light. So get all the jokes, erase all those jokes out of the comment section. That's the check engine light. Ford, fixed or repaired daily, found on road dead. I guess technically if you're a Ford person, you could say first on race day. How about that? But let's get in the back seat and see what magical things we might find in this Maverick. Hi guys, back seat time. And you know what? There is actually probably more room in the back seat of this Maverick than there is, say, in the back seat of a Nissan Frontier. And a Nissan Frontier is a mid-size truck. Same great seat material. I like the way, I feel like it's gonna last a long time, but it's gonna be easy to keep clean. You got your pockets here. You can keep yourself a flashlight, maybe, you know, a map in case you get lost. Nobody uses maps anymore. They use Google Maps or Apple Maps. But whatever, like I think about, like, how did I get around back in the 90s when we didn't have any GPS or anything like that? I guess people just died. They needed to go somewhere and they didn't know where to go, and they would just lie down on the road and just die. But the good news is, really comfy back here. You got your USB-Cs and a home power source. Of course, you're gonna have a center armrest. I'm not gonna forget that, soft touch, and a power sliding rear cab window, which is nice. But why don't we go ahead? It's that time. Is this thing a fuel sipper? Why don't we go for a spin and find out? All right, guys, we're leaving Walker Ford. We're inside this 2025 Ford Maverick, this being the hybrid all-wheel drive. Right away, I love how easy it is to drive these Mavericks. The proportions of them are great. Visibility is phenomenal. Nobody is behind us, I don't think. I'm looking in my mirror here. I'm gonna go ahead and go on throttle. You ready? On throttle. So with that all-wheel drive, you're getting the power to the ground. You'll notice how it shows you when you're using power from that lithium-ion battery pack, and then when you're charging. Of course, there's regen braking. I'm on the brakes. It lights a nice bright green, and that gives you the charge under braking. But getting to the 13.1-inch infotainment system is well within reach. Everything is arranged so nicely on the dash. It's really a well-sorted vehicle. Now you are going to hear that 4-cylinder when it's on, making 4-cylinder noises. But other than that, when you're just cruising, it's not very loud, which is good. There is a bit of wind noise, but other than that, this truck rides and drives so very well. Get on the brakes when somebody cuts you off. So brakes work well, that's good. Check. And just overall, like I said, the dimensions of this truck, it's perfect for people who need that utilitarian setup of a pickup truck, but don't want to be on a box frame chassis and have it ride like a truck. And there's also more interior space, which is great as well in this truck, even though it's a compact. But pulling away from the light, nice and smooth. You got that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline 4. And of course, with the 2 electric motors, you're getting that instant kick of torque down below, which actually makes the truck feel faster than what the numbers show, which is nice. But really, the seats are just superb on this truck. Getting 40 miles to the gallon in the city is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And obviously, you don't have to get a Lariat trim hybrid all-wheel drive, but the Lariat does bring the most niceties. Let's see how this truck handles, especially with the all-wheel drive. I'm gonna come to a complete stop again. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. All grip, no slip. Like I said, you could hear that 4-cylinder working, but it does provide that nice linear torque delivery, and with the 2 electric motors, you're getting that that boost of torque right off the line. Would have been nice to not have a CVT. The CVT on hard acceleration does stink. I mean, it'd be nice if they would have done some simulated shifts to keep that loud engine drone to a minimum. But I guess this truck obviously is not about going on throttle. It's about that versatility of being that do-it-all vehicle. And at the end of the day, you have your all-wheel drive and you have the great MPGs. And at a price point that is palatable. But I'm glad we've been able to finally bring you one of these Maverick all-wheel drive hybrids. We're gonna get back to where it all started at Walker Ford and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a Maverick minute. All right, guys, another wonderful day here at Walker Ford. Definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Western Walker, Tracy, and the rest of the team here, getting us access to this very hard to find 2025 Maverick hybrid all-wheel drive, and especially a Lariat. Let me know what you think. Is it worth the moolah at the end of the day? And is this basically the must-own truck? It's like the Swiss Army knife of vehicles. Let me know your thoughts in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worth it coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. Gotta give up to Stephen Flood. Wish him some luck because you know, the Treasure Island group is under attack. So give him your thoughts in the comment section, your support, because he needs it to keep on drumming wherever he wants to, basically. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.